All right, it's 7 p.m. Tuesday, March 7th, 2023. We're gonna open a special meeting. Just replacing the committee of committees meeting, and just for a reminder that if it's not on the agenda, we cannot discuss it in a special meeting. So we have to pick the agenda. Roll call, please.
I have trustees Chris Samples,
Here.
John Talbot,
Here.
William Luxinger,
Here.
Nathan Maz,
Here.
Jen Christensen,
Here.
Bill Motisi,
Here.
President Rick Worm,
Here.
Treasurer Brenda Onavani, here. I Clerk Sandy Maz, I'm here. Public Works Supervisor Brett Fergie,
Here.
and Park Supervisor Nathan Hill.
Here.
I do ask for clarification purposes tonight that Nathan be referred to as the trustee and Nate be referred to as the Park Supervisor.
Motion to approve February 7th, 2020 committee of committee minutes.
Second. John makes a motion to approve the February 7th, 2023 committee meeting minutes. Nathan seconds. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Motion passes 701. Who on the report of the officers under me? All you. That's quick.
Okay, are we good here? See the green light?
Yes.
I can't tell from, how about now?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Hello, everyone. Nice to see you all again, and thank you for the time. As always, I'm back so quickly because I got a very quick and very positive response from ComEd in our request to move the interconnection poles based on the comments and feedback from this meeting last week. Just a brief one-line response saying like, yes, that should work, but it kind of gave our team enough confidence that, you know, we, in our understanding of the next steps and process with ComEd, that, you know, this is something that we could adjust to accommodate. So if I don't know, Sandy, if you're able to zoom in onto the like access road and pole area. So yeah, I guess just to kind of summarize our design and the goal here is, you know, given your feedback, it was sort of keep the project as far out of the way or out of sight, out of mind of kind of any potential development along 72. So hence this shift that we talked about last week to the northwest corner. The access road now will be utilizing the existing access there, and then we'll be expanding that or kind of establishing a gravel road through to the back of the project. And then the change this week is we were able to, like I mentioned, get agreement from ComEd to our request to move the point of interconnection and therefore the poles with the equipment associated with that point of interconnection to where the road is. So those will be kind of the 5 poles that I've mentioned in the past that hold the equipment to measure the output of the solar farm and the safety equipment. So that was kind of all I wanted to say today was to come before you with that change, and you know, would really welcome and was curious to hear if you all had any feedback or thoughts on the project at this time. And as you all know, we haven't gone through the process of submitting a special use permit yet.
Just to save you time, you and the family, I'm going to vote no on it because we already have one approved, and I want to see how that goes before I approve any more or agree to approve any more. And this is the 6th or 7th, maybe the 5th proposal that we've had for solar farm, whatever you want to call it, within the village or close to the village, within the village's perimeter that we would have to approve it for. And it's not that I don't like solar farms. I have no problem with them. They're a great concept. I just want to see how the one we have goes before I approve any others. And that might take some time. That's me, just my vote.
Yeah. No, I appreciate your feedback and comment. I think just one thing to share from our perspective in terms of the Illinois Solar Program and hopefully applying our project for the state program is as you think about that kind of like sequencing of wait until see how the project goes and then consider if you want more solar in town. It's very hard to say like what the landscape of opportunity will be in a few years. Like, we hope to get in line for the program and then, you know, that we will likely will be on a multi-year wait list to potentially move forward. And, you know, how backlogged will that wait list be in years, but definitely understand, you know, where your perspective's coming from. Thank you.
I think with moving of that connection point, I have no opposition to the project. It's far enough off that it won't affect anything probably during its lifespan that we would see for retail corridor that we imagine there. I have no objections to it.
I typically don't like to approve any solar farms that are built on collector. I think it's with mismanagement of resources. And especially when we have all these vast mega rooftop units of 100,000, 200,000, 300,000, 400,000 square foot that completely can handle solar farms. I've not been in favor of typically any solar farms that are.
Okay. Yep.
So I think that she's looking for some guidance from a good chunk of the trustees to the best that she can get, is my understanding, in the hopes that we being the village and Kara, do not expend resources one way or the other for something that will or will not pass. And so while planning and zoning does get to see it first, you guys are the ultimate decision-making authority. And so I think she's looking for some guidance to see if there's anything else that could be fixed or changed, in the hopes that that when it circles back to you after planning and zoning, that it would be a foreseeable project. Nobody wants to spend any money or time on something that's not going to pass. So if the rest of you have input, that's what she's looking for.
I would be a no as well. There's no advantage to the village for this. The residents, it would be minute or minuscule what we would receive. And I also would take some what Chris said, that until we see what this first one does, and if we miss opportunities with other ones, so be it, because we're not really missing any benefit financially of any consequence of any amount for the village. So that's where I'm at.
Can I ask, you know, do you see the project as, you know, a significant harm to the village, or for kind of thinking of just like the landowner's ability or decision to do this? Are there clear kind of detriments in your eyes?
As a board member, I struggled for years to get Midwest Bioenergy to go bye-bye. We changed our zoning, we forced them out. And unfortunately, the zoning commission made a recommendation to allow them back, and board members at that time voted it in, with the exception of myself and one other. So I would like to see that just be set up for retail. Nothing else.
I think that's.
And that could be a deterrent to some sort of retail.
That far back in that property, I mean, with that landowners, again, we gotta work with the landowners. What they're doing is moving stuff to where it still leaves that commercial corridor open for us. I still think that that's their land. They can put a project back there, whether they choose to farm it or whether they choose to put a solar plant on it, if it meets what stays out of the way of what we envision for what the village needs.
That's not entirely true. The homeowner or the property owner can't do with what they wish. They have
Well,
to
no,
comply with-
I understand that, but what is the harm in that to the village?
What's the harm in waiting?
It's gonna wait anyway,
Well,
if they get in line.
you're gonna pre-approve it before you know it. That's my problem. But that's not, you vote it way you want. That's up to you. Everybody.
I'm not
I don't get to
opposed
vote
to it. so-
unless you tie.
I'm sorry, Jen, what'd you say?
I said, I'm not opposed now that like they've changed and they okayed, you know, where stuff's going, I'm not opposed to the changes.
Yeah, I like the location better. It's setback. I mean, I think it keeps the corridor where we want it, unless something huge were to come in and take up that whole area, which I don't know what would come in that
No.
corner. That would be that big, that would take up that area.
Because they-
And if it came in that big, we wouldn't want it there anyway.
Right, yeah, it would be a horrible location, probably anyway. So, I mean, I wish there was more benefit to the town itself. I mean, it's great for the community, I think, you know, because the school gets a big chunk and,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, I like all those aspects of it, you know, and obviously it gets a good use for landowners in the area and maybe to help develop the front of it a little faster or something, who knows, with this project once it gets going. But I don't know, I guess I would be in favor of it, I guess, if there, I just saw some benefit more for the town itself, you know what I mean?
Sure.
We're close, like just, I feel like we're missing something, so.
Okay.
But it looks way better than it did before. I'm way closer to being on board, I
Mm.
guess is the best way to put it.
Okay, yeah, thanks.
Yep. And then we.
Okay, I think the solar power will be the way to go, in the future. And I know it's being nipped in the bud. I don't like to see it to get nipped in the bud because I'd like to see what planning and zoning has on their mind. And if they would recommend it for us, because then we'd have another opinion.
Mhm.
And, if they're talking about putting on a waiting list, I would have no objection to that. I would say that, if you had to pin me back to the wall, I would say I would be more inclined to approve than disapprove. And I'm taking into consideration all the things that I heard here tonight. Progress is very, very important, and progress comes in many different ways. Thank you.
Thanks.
Well, if that doesn't clear it up, nothing does.
Yeah, okay, I think, yeah, thank you all like for your comments and input. I guess, I don't know if anyone has additional comments, but, I think feedback received. Yeah. Okay, well, thank you.
Yeah,
Clear.
there is mine.
Yeah. See, it's 3.
All right. Next item, discussion and confirmation of appointment of representative for Ogle County Economic Development. We asked Bill to put together a clear and concise, opposition to the, thing, to the, appointment of Brenda to the Economic Development Committee. The way the vote ended up anyway, we ended up approving the minutes, but Bill did submit his clear and concise letter to the village for his opposition. Sandy has volunteered to read it.
I am. So
Sure.
for the record, there was a letter received on we received it on March 3rd, dated March 1st, 2023 to Mayor Rick Worm. And it states, RE the objection to change of policy. Dear Mr. Worm, after consultation with my attorney, I want to make clear that I do not object to the meeting minutes dated January 24th, 2023, which I believe were approved by village board action. In fact, it is those minutes that I believe state that board policy not only should be, but was approved by the village board. Second, the objections I have are to the village's apparent desire to give an agency to Miss Brenda Onabaney as its representative to the Ogle County Economic Development Board. An even bigger objection is recent information that the village is not going to become an official member of the Ogle County Economic Development Board, which will continue to play a critical role in the overall development of Ogle County, and yes, the Davis Junction area. Our expensive lawyers representing the village can protect our legal interests and negotiate a fair IGA with the Ogle County Economic Development Board. I understand the obvious personal animosity towards Davis Junction's most dedicated and loyal public servant, yours truly. Without putting too fine a point on it, I do not believe that Ms. Onabaney is the person for the job of being the Davis Junction representative to the Ogle County Economic Development Board. If we need a special meeting to deal with the appropriate approach to and define the intended relationship with the OCEDB, which is the Ogle County Economic Development Board, so be it. Thank you for the opportunity to set the record straight. Sincerely, Bill Motese, trustee.
And I guess this is kind of mislabeled as discussion and confirmation. The board has already confirmed who the appointee is. Policy is set by me, by the board, with the advice and consent of the board. The appointment was set by me with the advice and consent of the board. I stand by that appointment. Based on last week, I still feel that the board does as well, but I'm not going to bring it back up to them. This decision was made when we found out we missed out on a $50,000 grant opportunity based on a deadline being missed that was verbalized in a meeting and not print that was not brought back to the village in a timely manner. So I will stand by Brenda being our representative going to that meeting. And that's just the way it's going to be.
Second,
But in reality, Brenda's not the representative. She's
Oh.
just there collecting information.
Correct. Well, and there is a flaw in that letter, and that is that we are a member of that. That there are two versions. There is a voting member and a non-voting member. And at this time, we are a non-voting member.
Just for everybody's information, they haven't even incorporated
anything,
that. There
right,
is
right.
no board at this point. They were working on the incorporation and they hope to have it done soon. Were they supposed to have another meeting soon?
In April.
Yeah, so they scheduled another meeting so that they could confirm that they incorporated and became a 501c3. But as of this point, they aren't even the board that, whatever the name is of that board. Did they even come up with a name yet? I don't believe they had it confirmed what name they were gonna call it.
So,
So we're just there seeing what they're doing. We're not,
yeah, they haven't approved their manual or anything. No.
right, nothing. In fact, they were discussing at that meeting, they were discussing what they were gonna put into their incorporation.
Well, that's their new, their new, the way they want to going forward, but they have been operating under the county.
So, but that's not what it's supposed to be, right? It's supposed to be,
They want to change.
right,
Yeah.
to be their own independent 501c3. So as far as, and that was us being a member of that board
Mhm.
as a non-contributing member.
Mhm.
So if I can summarize kind of what I'm understanding is no one's been appointed to this role. Brenda's just going on our behalf.
She's
No
our
one's
representative.
preventing Bill from going. He's welcome to go at any time to any meeting.
On his.
He's
behalf.
on his own will. And no one's preventing anyone, especially the most dedicated and loyal public servant.
I'm not going.
But, well, you're not the most loyal public servant.
Yeah, well,
yeah,
So, but no one's stopping you from going. No one's
So-
preventing you, so everything's great. This is just that you feel you should be appointed. I don't understand what the letter. I guess that's what I'm missing.
The opposition was not to the minutes. As he claimed, he's not opposing the minutes, shouldn't have opposed the minutes. The board did pass the minutes, which he does not object to. The objection was to Brenda being appointed to it. The Brenda is there as our.
Never been
representative. Till this board is formed, then we will see what we do from there. But at this point in time, I don't see me changing from having Brenda represent us once that board is formed. And we will be a attending member, not a voting member. Until this board decides otherwise.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
Oh, boy.
I certainly would like to see, us being a full-time paying member, because I don't want us to miss out on any opportunities for the village of Davis Junction to cash in on any future and ongoing economic development projects.
I agree with you in part,
And-
as once that board decides what they are doing,
then maybe.
then
we-
this board can decide whether we're going to be a voting member or a non-voting member. At that point, we will decide who will attend that. But again, at this point, we've already missed out on that opportunity. I need somebody there who's gonna bring back that information to the
I
board.
don't.
Okay,
think
now,
they'll
okay.
have Any opportunities, because they're here for Ogle counties. They're supposed to.
They're here for the whole county, not just us.
Right.
And we've done fairly well without them. We went through the same thing with our AEDC,
continue.
poured out that money, they got us nothing.
Moving on.
Well, one other note here. The last time before we had our meeting was at Davis Junction, was just gonna stand on the side and not move forward or be interested in any way, shape or form with the Ogle County Economic Development Board.
That is not at all what I just told you. I just told. you once
That's
that
what you
board-
just said now,
No,
but
once that
before,
board- That was decision of the board, but right now, once that board decides what they're going to do,
Mhm.
then this board can decide how it wants to participate.
And so we really didn't miss out on that grant
We
of
did.
that 50,000 because we were not ready to move forward
No,
with anything.
they,
Bill,
correct?
That was a process we could have applied for.
We already did. We had applied for, we applied too late.
We were just a couple days too late.
We were a couple days too late because we didn't know there was. a
Because we didn't know the
deadline.
deadline was the way we turned it in.
Bill, in
And we
simplest
heard
of
about the
terms,
grant from a neighboring town.
Bill, in the simplest of terms, in case we have to break it down, you were at the meeting, you heard the same information, and you brought it back too late for this board to act on.
I had mentioned before,
You
at-
mentioned it too late.
at a
not
couple
enough.
meetings, at a
Alright.
couple meetings that
That's enough.
things were,
Regardless,
that
the
things were
discussion is-
happening down there
discussion
and that we
is
should
on the
join
appointment of the
and go.
representative and what led to the minutes.
All right.
We're moving on. Sandy,
I don't have anything.
Brenda,
Nothing.
community development events. Jen,
Just a reminder for the Easter egg hunt for April 1st.
it's on the agenda. We can talk about it.
I saw you purchasing away. over
William?
there.
Yes, I
That's
am.
on the closed session.
Bill,
Let's see. I'm still looking for any and all ideas with the, traffic violations. For example, the speeding vehicles down on,
Bill, you have nothing on the agenda. We're in a
No.
special meeting.
no, nothing for that.
Thank you. John, Parks,
This will be in closed session.
streets and dishes, Chris,
I'd like to make
Nope. just a moment. These are all written on here because Sandy and I both missed it. It is not written as discussion and possible approval. We can move forward with approval. We will have to ratify that approval next week.
Sorry, was I not going there?
You
So
want
there is no closed session then,
I'd like to
right?
make a resolution
a
number,
motion to approve?
sorry, I'd like to make a motion to approve resolution number 23-8, a resolution for maintenance under the Illinois Highway Code formal contract proposal estimate and maintenance cost and maintenance engineering to be performed by the consulting engineer or Public Works Garage Driveway Project.
Second.
Wow, that was a mouthful.
It was.
And
Chris makes a motion to approve resolution number 23-08. John seconds. Is there any discussion on that resolution?
Put the wrong piece of paper. away.
Oh. Not hearing any, roll call, please.
Jen,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
John,
yes,
Nathan,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
William.
Yes.
Make a motion to approve resolution number 23-9. A resolution approving and authorizing execution of a proposal for professional services between the Village of Davis Junction and Willett Hoffman for Junction Road Sidewalk Project.
second. Second,
Previous motion was approved at 7:22. Chris makes a motion to approve resolution number 23-09. John seconds. Any discussion on that project, on that resolution?
Just from,
This is in front of the fire station. For some
Thank you.
reason, Willett Hoffman has called it Junction Road Sidewalk
Thank you.
Project.
I tried reading it and I thought it said specific to 72 or something.
Yeah, no, it's the fire
That's what
station.
proposal.
Thought they were putting one in over by Shirley's house.
And,
No.
and just for everybody's information, they are putting in where they pour it separately so that they can get in and out. He discussed it with Todd.
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 I stopped by there on Wednesday.
Dale discussed it with Todd.
That's my
we're gonna
question.
vote.
Linda keeps cutting out. Did you meet?
My question is, shouldn't that be named Maple Street?
For the purposes of this, Glenda, it's just the engineering term for it. It doesn't have any significance. They're also calling it a sidewalk project when it's really an apron and sidewalk and a little bit of road now project.
Okay, thank you.
Any discussion on this? Roll call, please.
Bill,
Yes.
John,
Yes,
Nathan,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
William,
Yes.
Jen.
Yes.
That motion is approved at 7:24. Chris,
Make a motion to approve resolution number 23-10, resolution approving and authorizing execution of a proposal for professional services between the Village of Davis Junction and Willett Hoffman for Junctions Way Reconstruction Project.
second.
Take your time.
Since nobody else wanted it.
Chris makes a motion to approve resolution number 23-10. John seconds.
That's easier.
Any
Well,
discussion on 23-10?
John,
Yes,
Nathan,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
William,
Yes.
Jen.
Yes.
Yes.
Passes 7:25.
That's it for me.
Nathan?
Can we put all three of those ratifications under consent?
I have just sent an email to our village attorney to confirm how he'd like me to handle them.
Closed session.
Make a motion, go into closed session under 2C5, the purchase or lease of real property for the use of the public body, including meetings held for the purpose of discussing whether a particular parcel should be acquired.
Second.
John makes motion to go into closed session under section 2C5. Chris seconds. Any discussion on going into closed session? And roll call, please.
Nathan,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
William,
Yes.
Jen,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
John.
Yes.
Time?
7:26.
Motion to reconvene open session.
Second.
John makes a motion to reconvene open session. Chris seconds. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay.
Nay.
We're back in open session at 7:40. On Tuesday, March 7th, 2023.
So the motion that needs to be made under possible action for closed session items is a motion to approve William Luxinger to purchase land for use of park as discussed in closed session.
Make a motion to approve William Lushinger to make purchase of land as discussed for the park in closed session.
Second.
John makes a motion to approve William Luxinger to purchase land as agreed in closed session. William, Bill seconds.
Yeah.
Any discussion on that motion? Roll call.
Chris,
Yes.
William,
Yes.
Jen,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
John.
Yes.
Nathan.
Yes.
That motion passes 7:41. That's done. Anything on unfinished business? Since it is on the agenda.
The computer and server management IT contract is with their attorney. Our attorney had very minimal changes. I don't think their attorney is gonna have any issues with them. Yes. It was simply things like if we get to only cancel for a breach of contract, they only get to cancel for a breach of contract. I think that was the big one, and the rest were just dates and clarifications of some things. So I do anticipate that back. He did communicate with me that he's still waiting for his attorney, but hopefully we'll have that back soon. And then I'll check with Dan on the window replacement ordinance. I believe the state had to have that for 30 days, though.
And the sign stuff, you got anything on that?
Chris? The replacement sign?
We still gotta go look at it. I haven't had the opportunity to go with Fergie and
So that's a no.
Sandy.
That's a no.
Sorry.
So much simpler.
Waiting.
I did email him the updated quotes that I received today. though.
I'm sorry.
We watched Judge Judy. It's a yes or a no.
Yeah.
It's a when we get out there to do it.
All right.
Time's a ticket. Tempest.
Sorry, I'd like to do it, but I just don't want to.
So.
Anything further?
No.
The public,
Public?
All right.
No
I don't
public?
have anything.
I heard so.
yeah, she said she
She doesn't
doesn't.
have anything.
Okay.
I turned the volume down.
Anything further from board members, appointed officers, employees, staff,
Motion to adjourn.
carpet?
Didn't it? You have some?
Boss. Yeah, so you're good.
John makes a motion to adjourn.
Second?
Nathan seconds. All in favor, say aye.
Ah.
Any opposed, say nay.
Fergie,
We're adjourned at
Thank you
7:40.
so much at these meetings.